Azealia Banks. Why? I mean, I agree with what you said, but why? Like, think about it. Azealia Banks, you are a walking contradiction. One minute you are a Black Panther warrior type woman, and I'm not talking about Black Panther in terms of the superhero comic book series. I'm talking like Black Panther from like the 1960s out in Oakland, California. But then you will still be quick to admit that you sleep with white men. Do you want to be a revolutionary or do you want to be a sex kitten? What do you want to do with your life? Make up your mind and let us know which you want to be. Because I will admit what you said was the truth, but I can't really take you seriously, Azealia, because of the stuff that how you act and what you really like. So I'm going to talk about it, and I really want everybody to chime in. So let's talk. Hey guys, it's your girl Missing a Little Cold. I'm coming to you on Spreaker and on YouTube. So today I was just, doodling on my phone, enjoying my 2 days off back to back and just relaxing. And I see something on Lipstick Alley that states that Azealia Banks versus Bernie Sanders. Now, I have said, for those of you that have never heard, I was never a fan of Bernie Sanders. I really wasn't, because when he had the opportunity to speak on reparations, he said, no, I will not address it. If you're running for the highest office in the country, in the most powerful nation in the world, reparations is something that you're supposed to speak upon when you're asked that question. That's the only question he never answered during the 2016 presidential debates. So I looked down upon him for that, and I could understand why Hillary won the Democratic nomination. Having said that, I think it's very funny that the one Black woman in the room who has chosen to criticize Bernie Sanders is none other than the residential Twitter thug, the bully of social media, and the person who cried for being assaulted on Wild 'N Out, none other than Azealia Banks. Now, I have to admit something, and I'm sure some people may not like me saying this, but musically, I rocks with Azealia Banks. I think her music is good. I love 212, I love Licorice, and I rocks the big beat a lot. Okay, I think that she was the person that should have been Nicki Minaj's competition, but I do believe that because of her insecurities and things not really working out in her career, such as her behavior, the stuff that she says, and quick to really jump and attack, is the reason why Nicki's on top and she's not where she is. Because talent-wise, she's better talented, because the girl, you may not like her as a rapper, but homegirl, she can sing. I've seen her live performances. That girl can sing. Okay? She can sing. As a talent, she's the truth. But she's more known for being a Twitter thug and a social media bully than being a talented artist. And she's been in the game, I would say, for a decade, because she started out in LaGuardia High School. And she was in the drama program. She also had talent agents. She also did auditions. She also was in a couple of plays. Unlike Nicki Minaj, she was only in little school assignment productions. And I know this because I went to school with people who were friends with Nicki. But Azealia Banks, she actually was in plays. However, her attitude and being opinionated and the things that she said is what's been holding her back. Also, she is an independent artist, to be fair. She started out in England as opposed to the UK and as opposed to the US. So the money has never been that properly invested in her brand like Nicki Minaj's people have. Now, I'm going to talk about this feud because this shit is funny. So, Bernie Sanders post something on Twitter yesterday, and it said, "We all must stand together to reject Trump's bigotry." And Azealia Banks responds by saying this: "Shut up, Bernie. The whole country is racist in essence. It's funny to watch all the rest of white people try to blame a singular Donald Trump for decades of a collective white supremacist history. Stop trying to absolve yourself of responsibility and point fingers at Trump. Liberal whites have spent decades doing nothing but talking. Why don't you get off your ass and do something about your racist white brethren everywhere, instead of trying to dupe minorities into thinking alone Donald Trump is responsible for the entirety of American tyranny? Donald Trump wasn't even alive when the USA was established under the same white supremacist ideals it exists under today. I'm most tired of white people like you trying to signal blame, passing as virtue. Shut up, Bernie." I gotta admit, she was right, 100%. She was right. She was right. What she said and what she wrote was correct. And I will stand by that shit. Because she called him out for his hypocrisy. Because all of them are racist. And I've had to say this to be truthful. I've encountered a lot of liberal white people, especially when I was in college and on jobs. And I can honestly tell you, they are some of the most racist, snaky people that you will meet. And they are quick to frame a black man as the guilty person of any narrative. And they will create a narrative and put a black man and a black woman as a culprit when it's actually them. I'll give you a story of something that happened. When I was in college, I was in student government. And this was like the first time when I was in student government. I was around about the age of 21 years old. And there was a white lady who appeared to the people at the time in student government. This was just before I got elected. I got voted in. And she has said, "I'm a person that has an issue with the whole administration of the school. And I feel as though they're preventing me from completing my degree." Everybody felt bad for her because she sold the story. She sold the sob story about being a victim. And with that situation, to a point, she was. And the situation dealt with a class. But she wasn't the only victim. But she felt that the whole world was attacking her. Now, the administration was predominantly black and Latino. So her being white, although she used part of her Cuban side, which was later debunked, she didn't claim that. She claimed to be a white woman that was being a victim. However, there was a black man who was cool with somebody there who didn't go to school there, but he used to always visit this guy. And this is the guy that is part of the story. He said that she is a racist because I heard her make comments about a particular person here and they were black. And we were talking about politics and she didn't like their politics. And she went and attacked his character. And I told her, "You need to calm down because you're looking like a racist." And she said she didn't care. Okay. Now, fast forward to about 3 months later. And there was a beef that happened in student government between her and the guy and the president. The president, who was Latino and white, she didn't put him in the mix. But she put the black guy who was radical and who really fought for her to not only have the situation solved, but to also get into student government. She attacked him verbally. And he was like, "I'm not rocking with this woman. She will never speak to me. I have absolutely no disrespect for her." And he basically was trying to get her out of student government. The president didn't believe it because a lot of people felt that he was going towards his white side. And I said, he could be, but at the time I was like, maybe he doesn't just see it. But then after people was telling me, no, he's batting for her because of his white side. And when I started seeing the interaction, I said, yeah, I can see that. So We all had left work, office that day. It was a Wednesday. We got our stuff, we was getting ready to prepare for finals. She snuckily went back there and did something. And that something was she basically spray painted student government, something about how F student government, F college, F the school. I can't stand these BITs. Now, they blamed it on the guy who was black, but it was debunked because of one reason. Because the security guard that was there has said, when I was still here, he had left and he was gone. He was not here. And this was after 10 o'clock. She said, I was here until 11 at night. She wasn't there. Somehow or another, this heifer got back in there. And she had spray painted the walls. They never did anything to this girl. Okay? But they was quick to throw away the black guy. They never did anything to the girl. Come to find out, she was in cahoots with somebody in high administration, and it was a setup game. She was basically the mole to try to take down people in there because there was a lot of people in there that was radical. She was a mole from the beginning. And to show you how a lot of these liberal whites are fake and phony, they can front, especially the white women, they front like they're radicals and they fake it like they're for the people. But a lot of times they're doing it to get something in return, a scholarship or a job that's near 6 figures. This woman got a scholarship to a prestigious all-women's school. But to tell you how the tables turn and karma is beautiful, I happened to see an article on Facebook about students that are in debt and they're not able to pay their student loans. I clicked on the article and lo and behold, her face shows up about how she graduated from this prestigious college with a 3.9 GPA, with a degree in psychology, and she's in debt for close to $100K because she couldn't become a school counselor with a degree in psychology. Everybody knows you can't do that if you have a degree in psychology and you don't have a master's in school psychology. It's a school counselor. It's a known fact. So she ended up being in debt and having to become a bartender for years until she can get her real estate license. And she doesn't even live in my state in New York. She lives somewhere down south. Somewhere down. I forgot the state. I think she lives in Florida. But I thought that it was beautiful how she got shamed publicly for that when she was trying to shame the guy who did nothing but be nice to her and look out for her. And this is once again the thing about liberalism with black people. We have to stop believing the narrative that liberals are our friends just because they're cool. It's because they're against race, claiming to be against racism because they're believing in social programs. They really just believe in social programs. That's all. But most of them are racist. And I find more than to be racist than the actual conservatives. The conservatives, you know where they come from. I like the way they give it because at least you know, listen, I don't like you black people. I don't like none of you all. They express it. But those little liberal whites, they hide behind that shit. So that's why I don't really like them. Now, I just had to put that story in to give an example of how Azealia Banks is right. Or they're fake. But we have to call out Azealia Banks. You know this. This is not your first time calling out racism from liberals and from white men. She's very quick to call out racism from white men. But her problem is she only sleeps with white men. If you know that they ain't shit, Azealia Banks, why do you want to be with them? What is it? Is it because deep down inside you know they treat you horribly? Do you know a secret about them that none of us know? What really is it? Or are you sleeping with them because it's part of your job and for your career? Azealia, you are very talented. And you got to stop this contradiction. you're being known more so for being a Twitter thug and being a social media bully as opposed to being a talented singer and rapper and an artist. There's so many people that you've alienated through the years because of your rhetoric. And one minute you attack people and then you jump in to defend them. Like, what is it? But I do believe that on this one, she is telling the truth. And I do believe that she is speaking honestly, but at the same time, if you're going to be this way, you cannot sleep white. You need to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to be with a white man completely and not call out the racism? Or do you want to call out the racism and build a black family? And yes, Miss Analytical said that. And I stand by that. What do you want to do? Because you can't have it both ways, Azealia. And me and you, we from the same community. We from Harlem, New York. You're just from above 125th, and I'm from below 125th. That's the only difference. But me and you, we from the same community. So we know what it's like. We know that racism and that liberal racism. Because that's what we don't experience conservative racism in New York. We experience liberal racism. So she's telling the truth. And I will say, when she was to LaGuardia, I can guarantee you that the people that was racist towards her, because they are very racist towards black, dark-skinned people, particularly dark-skinned women, they were more than likely liberal teachers that did that to her. And I believe that's where her mind is messed up from, that experience. And so with that being said, I just want Azealia to take what she said and just really think it over and really start realizing that I'm not this person that people think I am. I'm actually very intelligent, and I really know what's going around that's around me, and I see clearly, but I need to get it together. You know, I can't just play both ends. You gotta choose a side, regardless. You gotta choose a side at the end of the day. And hopefully, I hope she chooses a side of being of clarity and seeing that she really needs to be, you know, and I'm going to say it, to be honest with herself and really realize, if I'm going to be this person that's going to speak against racism, I can't just do it and then just rush to sleep with these people that are racist towards me. And I know some people are not going to agree with what I'm saying, but that's just the way I see the world. Okay, I see the world that way. If you're going to be a person that is going to call out racism and call out liberal racism at that, honey, you can't sleep with the people of the race you calling out as racist. You just can't. Now, if you're a person that's different and that's not you, then whatever. Do what you want to do. It's your life. But when you make those comments and you post them for the world to see, you can't do that anymore. You can't. You can't sleep with the race of people that you claim to be racist. Because you either have liberalism or conservatism. Really, that's it. And you know, most conservatives are racist and a lot of liberals are racist too. So in other words, Azealia Banks, you can no longer sleep with white men. And on that note, this is Miss Analytical signing off. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Please share this video and audio. And I would love to hear and read people's comments. And I will talk to y'all later. Take care.